Back to Insight 2012 with Charlie Sykes from the Country Springs Hotel. Sponsored in part by Annex Wealth Management, Digital Office Solutions, Smart Choice MRI, and the law firm of Reinert, Berner, Van Duren on News Radio 620 WTMJ.
Welcome back to Insight 2012. I'm Charlie Sykes. Reminder, coming up in the next hour, we have Governor Scott Walker. Let's talk. We've been talking about regulation, the fact that they can't pass bills anymore, so now they've turned to regulation. But very specifically, in the area of gas prices, everyone knows what's happening at the pump. We may be looking at gas of $4 a gallon or more this summer. How much responsibility does the federal government have for that, Sean Duffy?
Absolutely some. If you look at where the president has put his focus, it's all on green energy. Just think, I mean, we're talking windmills, solar panels. Just think if the president had put that same energy into, or that same work ethic into opening up all of these leases around America. Off our shores, up in Alaska. If you would open up these leases and we start putting more supply into the market, it's very simple, supply and demand. As demand increases and supply does as well, we won't see those prices increase. But when demand increases and supply doesn't increase with it, we start to see an increase in prices. Okay. So I think we have an opportunity in America to increase that supply and help stabilize gas prices.
All right. We passed legislation last year and this year to open up Alaska, open up our outer continental shelf, to bring that oil into this country, to bring Keystone through. They're all dying in the Senate. The president's making the Senate, making sure he's calling senators, like you said, don't let this arrive on my desk. I don't want to veto it. Here's the deal. The president's policies are directly aimed at raising the price of gas, of oil, of carbon. That's what cap and trade's all about. So that's what he wants to do. And so what we're talking about here, is that better? Yeah. What we're talking about is he wants energy to be more expensive. But the problem for the president is it's a political inconvenience for him in a tough election year. It's a job killer, but he will not reconcile with the fact that his policies are designed to raise gas prices.
Reid Ribble.
You listen to the rhetoric of the president. He talks about an all-in energy policy, but he's only all in on one thing, and that's the green side of the energy equation. And he's literally every single day choosing green over growth, and I'm talking about economic growth. And at some point, we have to get him to actually act on his words. He talks about it's not a supply problem. We've expanded supply. We're producing more oil than ever before. And he said he'll tell you it's not a supply problem. But then he will go, but if we could just turn everybody driving more fuel-efficient vehicles, change the standards, get people in electric cars, demand will go down and the price will go down. So on the one hand, he wants to have it is a supply and demand problem, but he doesn't want to recognize his own failure on the policies that have restricted true energy growth in this country.
Well, there's another element, and Paul, you've talked about this, is the crony capitalism, where you have the government not just picking the winners and losers, but handing out huge grants and loans to private companies that are politically well-connected, whether it is Solyndra or it's General Electric or some other major Washington player.
Yeah, the stimulus bill did $40 billion of that stuff. Solyndra is just one piece of it. Look, Republicans made this mistake in the past by doing what I call crony capitalism, corporate welfare. We need to disavow that. We do that in our budget. We get rid of all of this stuff in our budget. It's easier for us because we have to get back to being pro-business and being pro-market, not just pro-business. For Democrats, for the president, it's a key part of their philosophy. They think it's better if they direct capital through government to preferred end users. And by doing that, they're raising a massive barrier to entry against every small business person, against every innovator. They're creating preferences. They're picking winners and losers. And look, in any government, influence is going to get peddled, and you're going to end up rewarding cronies, not even those who deserve it in the first place. So what we're saying is get rid of the corporate welfare, get rid of the crony capitalism. That's how you restore real entrepreneurial capitalism, not this state-run crony capitalism. And I got to tell you, the president just gave us a new budget saying, I want to do more of it. He's talking about a triple-digit spending increase in all of this stuff. That's what he's actually advocating now, even after the Solyndra failures and all the rest.
Insight 2012 continues. You're listening to News Radio 620 WTMJ.